You've heard of draft dodgers. I'm a prom dodger. I decided out of the goodness of my heart not to go to my school's prom and to basically stay home on the night of it, which is tonight. And what I think is so interesting is that it seems as if more people paid attention to the event of my prom rather than me, the person who was supposed to be going to it. I'm the kind of individual who does not like partying, is not a good dancer, can socialize with individuals for the most part, can find some type of common ground to communicate, and just really keeps to himself when it comes to most things that are of the daily routine. I realize in having that view that this is not the daily routine. This is something that people hold in high regard and think of as so special and so wonderful and so prestigious. But it was so strange to me how anytime I tried to put myself in their shoes, I couldn't understand what was so magnificent about it. Really, it seemed as if, from the way it was geared over at my school, that the only people that would really be excited over this are those who are already with somebody or have some type of, again, they're in a relationship or they have someone on the side or just something. And I don't have that. It's not to say there's anything wrong with not having that, but that's really the only way I can picture just thinking of this as a magnificent night. And even then, if you have some long time significant other, you're probably going to marry after high school anyway, so it won't even matter. Because we all know high school relationships, 100% of the time, transcend into adult life, and again, 100% of the time, turn into marriage. Now, people have made different rationales as to why going is such a big deal and such a big event. Oh, you can only do it once. You can only do it once. It can only happen one time. And that's correct. You only have this once, but they've had school dances my entire time in high school. There was one my freshman year. It was homecoming, I believe. There was one my sophomore year, the name of which escapes me. There was some miniature prom nonsense last year at my school where juniors were allowed to go because the seniors didn't pay the money for it. I was a junior at the time, so I would have been eligible. And each time we had a dance, I didn't go because I don't, it doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to get dressed up and spend some outrageous price of money for one night to listen to some songs that for the most part I'm not even that into or can listen to for free at my own house. And it just feels ridiculous to me. And I thought it was so interesting how people, mostly female, will inquire about you going to the event. And when you confirm that you're not going, they will then question, oh, how come? Or 9 times out of 10, they'll just leave you alone. And I guess you could argue, oh, well, I like to be left alone and I don't want anybody at my heels nipping at me over not going to prom. But really think about that. They ask you a question, you respond, and rather than explain why they were going to do that, they just leave you there. It's as if they had one answer they wanted, and since you said no, which is what I said each time they asked that question because it was the truth, they take issue or they just pass you, toss you aside. You're nothing to them except a potential prom date in some cases. And it's just ridiculous to me that we have this expectation that people must go to this event. I really had people that would look at me crazy this whole past week and a half. You're not going to prom? And people I know personally would, and I don't want to get sexist here, but I noticed the plurality of females who were trying to, I'm just making sure I heard this, we're trying to make the case that I should go. I just kept sitting there thinking, no, I'm never going to go. I'm not going. No, sorry. But again, they'll look at you in a strange way as if they've seen a ghost. And that's how they'll look at you, as if you're talking to them and you start typing in front of their face with some imaginary keyboard, as I just did right now with the keyboard in front of me that you can't see. So I hope I've explained why I'm not interested, the opportunity cost, really every different measure of why I wouldn't go for something of this nature. And I hope everyone has a good night, as I'm having right now. And I don't. People say you'll regret it. I don't think so. We'll see what happens. Have a good night, and thank you for watching.